This is the dream life everyone wants. A guy tired of city life used his savings to buy a century-old abandoned warehouse. He renovated it himself, turning it into a luxury home with a 360-degree observation deck, a sleek living room, a private bar, and plenty of land outside. This century-old warehouse was once used for grain storage, but was left to decay over time. Despite its condition, Mike saw its potential. He teamed up with designer John to transform it into a standout property. With 3 floors and a terrace, John's design skills turned it into a true masterpiece. Meanwhile, Mike was hard at work clearing out obstacles in the middle. The space was small and, in order to make the place habitable, they could not be merciful and cleared out the clutter thoroughly to avoid future problems. Next, they marked the walls and leveled the floor with gravel, prepping drainage pipes for the renovation. Each day, they laid gravel and compacted it to ensure a smooth, even surface. The next morning, they used a pressure washer to clean the warehouse interior. Years of dirt and moss slowly disappeared, making everything look much nicer. The front area was designated as the entrance platform, so they framed it with boards and laid a tight mesh of rebar for easier concrete pouring later. While the ground was still wet, they sprinkled some stone powder and used special molds to imprint stone patterns on the surface. Once the ground dried completely, they cleaned it up, giving it an aged look that tells a story. However, the warehouse was really old, and the walls were weak. So, they brought in a lift to continue cleaning the walls. Following a restoration-first philosophy, Mike mixed building materials in proportion, while John collected fallen stones to refill the gaps in the stone wall. This seemingly simple task took them a whole month and a half. The next day, Mike used an excavator to level the ground for the terrace, while also fixing the front wall. Mike did the heavy lifting, and John handled the details, applying materials to the wall. Once the walls were at the right height, they added boards along the edges, secured them with battens and screws, then inserted rebar and filled them with building materials so that when they dry, the overall look was more layered. Considering the warehouse needed to be weatherproof, John redesigned the roof structure. An octagonal shape would match the round warehouse perfectly. Mike sourced wood from their own forest, avoiding the need to buy materials. The challenge was preserving the old style, requiring special joint structures and precise craftsmanship. Only by minimizing errors could they fit everything perfectly. They also needed a matching support beam to connect the frame, but lifting the heavy structure to the roof was a real challenge. They first secured the support pieces inside to build the frame. With the first snow falling, they worked overnight to seal the floors and install parts. Before the weather got colder, they assembled the remaining wooden pieces. Since everything was already measured, installation was smooth, but each joint had to be secured with homemade fixtures and lawn screws to ensure the roof stayed intact. The next day was sunny, perfect for sealing the roof. They used hardwood boards to prevent future damage and rot. From waterproofing and insulation to adding special roof tiles, the modern roof contrasted with the ancient warehouse. Under the sunlight, it resembled a unique lighthouse. Over the next few days, they worked on extending the warehouse to create a hallway. Increasing usable space, they built wooden posts to frame the corridor, and easily cut notches in planks to connect them to the warehouse. After sealing the corridor with neat edges, they efficiently finished the job, thanks to their experience. But just after waterproofing the hallway, heavy snow forced them indoors to start laying flooring on the third floor. The wooden boards, salvaged from the old warehouse, added to the rustic vibe. Since there were no pre-made windows, Mike cut a hole in the third floor for natural light and marked the lighting position on the second floor to set up the support structure. With limited space, they used a lift to move around, but John suggested adding a ladder, using the original warehouse structure. They extended the second floor support to the corridor. For direct balcony access, the design maximized every feature, turning challenges into strengths. They quickly built the wall frame for the corridor, leaving space for a large window. After sealing the rest with waterproof boards, they installed custom glass windows, giving the classic architecture a modern twist. Finally, they covered the exterior with anti-corrosion wood, cutting and nailing the boards into place. The wooden corridor seamlessly blended with the old warehouse. Over the next few days, they laid flooring on the second floor and cut a hole for more light, brightening the warehouse and making it easier to move things around. John sanded down the old floor, revealing its original color. Then applied anti-corrosion oil for a refined look. They filled the corridor with insulation and sealed the ceiling and walls, giving the space a less abandoned feel. Next, they focused on the balcony, framing it with rebar and using a special truck for filling. They poured concrete for the entrance platform, creating stone patterns while the ground was wet to prevent cracking. They added shrinkage joints for easy access. Mike placed stone slabs at the second floor entrance, but added a corner staircase to the corridor to avoid the blocked ladder. The staircase was simple but sturdy, made from small wood sections, drilled and coated with anti-corrosion paint. They used glue and dovetailed joints for stability, and reinforced the structure with long screws and threaded rebar. Mike also added safety guardrails by drilling holes in the wooden beams and inserting thick rebar, shaping it into arcs for the staircase handrails. Once the guardrails were in place, they shifted focus to planning the interior. They envisioned the first floor as a bar, so they framed the area, covered it with black cloth, and nailed wooden boards. Lacking wide planks for the bar top, they joined to smaller boards and traced the wall shape onto it. After sawing along the marked line for a perfect fit, they grooved the back to install adjustable lee strips for a cozy ambience. Eager to finish, they quickly set up the bar, securing it with supporting parts and shelves for storage. To ensure warmth in winter, they added exhaust holes for the heating system and connected the water supply, drainage, and electrical appliances. With stools in place, the bar looked as good as any professional setup. The second floor, intended for guest rooms, lacked proper lighting, so they had to fix that. John cut wooden boards at specific angles, gluing and screwing them to create a light box. The surface looked uneven at first, but after sanding and applying anti-corrosion oil, it revealed a unique, refined texture. Installing the heavy light box required special lifting techniques, but once secure, it didn't block any light due to its square shape. With plenty of wood available, they decided to add a traditional fireplace for heating. After opening exhaust holes, they framed the wall behind the fireplace with wooden boards. The third floor offered the best view, making it ideal for a viewing platform. Mike framed a sofa using wooden boards and created cushions based on a template. They covered the cushions with soft fabric, arranging them on the frame to form a 360-degree circular sofa with plenty of throw pillows. They turned the open space in the middle into an open bar for safety. After securing the frame, they cut trapezoidal boards and assembled them into an octagon. With careful precision, they seamlessly completed the third floor, making it perfect for tea and relaxation. The central space was designed for a liftable tray, with a pulley and electric winch at the tower's top for easily moving items between floors. Finally, they added vintage decorations inside and set up outdoor sofas on the second floor balcony. After a year of hard work, they transformed the warehouse into a luxurious residence, the envy of others. Whenever they needed a break from the city's hustle and bustle, they could retreat here to enjoy the peace and tranquility.